No, you do get the 11 plus, but if you don't do well enough in it, they just send you down the mines. Yeah. I'm drinking a coconut.
She's actually drinking a coconut. She's got a straw in a coconut and she's drinking it. Hello, I am Elsie Loads.
I am Megan Mumby.
I am Laura Connolly.
Hello. 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 Right.
I feel like we never full name ourselves. I feel like we never introduce ourselves. We just sort of launch into it.
Yeah, and we've been trying, well, you guys have been trying to figure out what's wrong with the headphones for so long that Laura's not even opened a drink yet. She's now trying to get into a coconut.
Yeah, this is going to be a really weird one to record because my headphones aren't working. Like, everything's recording properly. I'm not hearing it as it's recording. So I know it's going to sound fine, but I'm really unnerved. I'm also like in a queue for Inside Number 9 tickets, so I'm freaked out. So halfway through this episode, it's possible that I will just run out and buy tickets, but we don't know yet.
Keep your phone open next to you so you can see where you are in the queue.
Yes. Does anyone know what the percentage means in those queues? Because I'm apparently on like 30-something% on the Inside Number 9 tickets queue.
Is that like how much you've done or how much you've got left to go?
But how does it know?
I have no idea.
It's almost certainly meaningless and just meant to keep you somewhat in the loop.
Yeah, it's probably just so you don't get, like, people don't like looking at a blank screen not knowing. They're like a loading bar, don't they?
And loading bars don't mean anything.
Yeah.
But
genuinely.
my dumb animal brain thinks it does.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why they exist, because you've got an animal brain.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Before we talk about what we're supposed to be talking about,
Animal brain.
I want to tell a story. So one day, Meg told me that the shuffles, Spotify shuffle is not random.
No shuffle.
It's
musical shuffle.
Yeah, none of them are. And, well, you explained the concept.
Well,
Meg.
I learnt this in physics when I was like 15, when my teacher said that the algorithm isn't actually random because if it was totally random, humans would be like, well, that's not random.
We'd find a pattern.
Yeah, so if it was random, you would be able to, you'd see songs come up twice in a row.
Yeah, or the same album too many times close together kind of thing.
But that won't ever happen because it's designed to appear more random to us. Because what we want is, like, by shuffle, we don't mean random. We mean we definitely don't want the same song twice in a row.
So I was explaining this concept to my family, to my mum and my dad and my brother and my sister, and we got into a blazing row. It was one of the biggest arguments that I can, because they weren't understanding this concept and they were disagreeing with me, and I was furious, and they kept saying, let's just let it go, and I kept being like, no.
I'm in the right. What don't you understand about simulated randomness?
It was never resolved, but it made me so mad.
Now it is.
Okay, well, I'm talking directly to your family now. If it was truly random, patterns would appear that we would interpret as not being random because we have a different concept of what that means. It
doesn't matter, Meg. You can explain that all you want to them. They're going to disagree with you.
It's because what you want from your Spotify shuffle feature isn't randomness. It's for things...
You want a level of variation and chaos which is not representative of pure random.
There you go.
There we go. They're not going to like me for saying this.
Well, they can be wrong.
Tough.
You can live in the knowledge that you're right.
They're actually not going to like me for saying this. I mean, I was being annoying that evening, but I was right. But now that I've got that out of my system... So how are we all feeling? Because I'm a little stressed because I'm in a ticket queue and I brought up this memory of this argument I had with my family and my technology isn't working. But I'm hoping this will cheer me up. How are we all feeling?
Well, Laura's stabbing a chopstick into a coconut.
She is.
She's finally breached the coconut.
I once had a similar argument with Sean where we got into an argument about remaster versus remake, and he just was not listening to me.
Well, they're completely different
They're
things.
completely different things. Although the thing is, when you're talking in the realm of video games, they're slightly different. And I was losing my mind with him. I actually shouted at the top of my so angry.
How are you feeling though?
I've had a good day. It's
Good.
lovely weather.
It is lovely.
Isn't it amazing how family can wind you up?
Yeah.
My mum and dad came to mum and dad love you, came to visit last weekend and arrived on Friday, and I don't finish work till 5:30, and at 4:00 my dad messaged to say we're on our way. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean? You're on your way. I'm still at work. And I was having the most stressful day of my life. And then my mum and dad rock up and I have to make them coffee and stuff.
It's not my family that wind me up. It's people being wrong.
Imagine I'm wrong. I'm not. It's not going to wind you up as much if your brother's wrong.
No, Laura, it's all stupid people.
Arthur, you hearing that?
No, they're not. My family aren't stupid. They have their moments though.
Your boobs are looking nice.
Oh, thanks.
I have also said that to you today, to be fair.
I know, I'm feeling really good. It's because I'm wearing a top that's maybe a little bit too small for me.
Yes, your boobs
Yes,
always
you got
look good.
lovely boobs.
Thank you.
Very big.
You got womps, full womps.
Right, I wonder how much of this is actually going to make it in.
Oh, all of it.
Oh, the womps is going in, is it? All right. What are we talking about today?
Chuckle Megan, chuckle Megan,
Chuckle Megan.
da da da.
ChuckleVision, ChuckleVision, ChuckleVision.
Where should we start? I mean, I think it's worth... let's just... At the top of the episode, we are aware of how beloved this is.
Sorry.
Yeah,
It's not even that good. I'm just gonna put it.
Laura's just having a nightmare with this coconut, I'm telling you. So, yeah, we're aware of how beloved this is. It's been highly requested. So we thought, it was time to tackle one of the biggies. However, on rewatching, none of us were hugely into it.
It was voted the best CBBC show ever in 2019.
Was that Radio
Really?
Times or I don't know what
I
it was?
saw the article on The Guardian, but I'm not
Okay.
sure who did the polling.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is just one that doesn't translate as well when you're an adult. I imagine if you're a kid, and because I think I made a few reels out with some clips, and there were bits that I really remembered, quite vividly remembered watching.
The customer is always right,
The
see.
customer is always right. Where he wants 9 jelly beans, no green ones. I remembered that so vividly.
1, 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No green ones. There you go, sir. 9 jelly beans. Anything else?
Yes, I'd like some pineapple.
Pineapple. Chunks or rings?
Steak and kidney and golden delicious.
Oh, a pie and an apple.
Yes, that's what I said, didn't I?
Well, no, actually, sir, you didn't say that. You said...
The customer's always right.
Yes, anything else you would like, sir?
Yes, I'd like a pair of shoes, size 9, white moccasins, just like yours.
This is not a shoe shop.
Your sign says we sell everything.
Yes, but you don't take it literally, do you?
That's false advertising. I could have you prosecuted. Now, where are my shoes?
Yeah, and so I must have enjoyed it as a child, but as an adult, I found quite a lot of it falling quite flat on me.
Yeah.
But that might just be because I'm a grown-up now.
I mean, it's been said of the Chuckle Brothers that if you're under 8, it's just the funniest thing, and I understand that. I do. I think I did find it quite funny. There's a specific joke that I remember because at the time I thought it was hilarious, and now I watch it and it's like, yeah, it's a well-constructed joke. It's wordplay is what it is. A lot of it is just misunderstanding words, and it's clever in a wordy sense, but it's not belly laugh funny.
Yeah.
But one joke that I remember was one of them one of them is bad at golf and the other one's giving him tips, and he says, I think you're standing too close to the ball after you've hit it, which I thought was really funny. And that's what a lot of the jokes are, but they're not. I wouldn't laugh at that now. It wouldn't even get a chuckle from me, if you will.
Because one of the things we identified was that a lot of the jokes, we were like, who actually is the target audience for this? Because a lot of the jokes are not jokes. They're like, if you were of a certain age, things that you might just believe, and so they're just, it's like misinformation.
Well, that's specific to series 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Well, because it does carry on through, like where Paul Chuckle has he has a persona, doesn't he, of being like, he knows more than Barry, but he actually knows nothing. So if you
nothing, Paul.
if you look at the like mapping of the show, like the model of the show, and if Barry Chuckle is the stupid one who's having things explained to them, if you were young enough, you might believe that everything Paul Chuckle is saying to Barry Chuckle is actually the right thing.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because Paul Chuckle's the setup and Barry Chuckle is the punchline.
Yeah, and you might not get that as a kid.
Yeah.
If you were young enough.
Hey, Paul, it's windy today.
No, it's not. It's Saturday. Now, don't forget, we've got to make a good impression.
Oh, I'm good at impressions. What's this? A swallow.
Not that kind of impression. This is a very exclusive hotel. It's 4-star.
Leaded or unleaded?
Leaded or unleaded what?
Leaded or unleaded 4-star petrol. Because I'm a green, you know.
That explains it. I thought it was a talking lettuce. Come on, get it.
I hope this isn't too disparaging of a thought, but I had a thought about how the vibe, a little bit of the pitch of the show, is that they wanted to do an adult one, but their jokes were too childish for adults, so they ended up doing children's ones, but then their jokes are still quite not hitting kids.
I think they are, though, because
Oh no, that's true. I mean, yeah, young kids.
it was
yeah, true.
so popular. It went for so many years and people remember it really fondly, so
I
it must have
retract
done.
my statement.
But I think, I mean, we'll get into the details a little bit later, I think, because I do have a lot of positive things to say about it.
Yeah, me too,
genuinely.
me too.
But shall we start with the biography of the two? Laura has got this section covered.
I'm gonna
for
say
us.
first and foremost, one of the things when you Google Chuckle Brothers, one of the related searches is Chuckle Brothers scandal, and the first thing that came up had like really salacious shit in it, but is very clear from almost the beginning, complete and utter horseshit.
That's nice to hear.
It says that they were born in 1908 and 1912 respectively, and
What?
I'm like, no, they weren't.
40s, they were born in the 40s.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, because I'd like read the first bit, and then I was like, and then I read that, and I was like, oh, this is all entirely made up. So they seem to have quite sad lives, especially Paul Patton. Is that their actual last name?
Elliot,
sorry.
Yes, they're older two brothers, the Patton brothers. They are also a double act, Jimmy and Brian Patton. One of them, don't know which one, I actually couldn't find it out, is the grandfather of the two from Gogglebox, Sophie and...
Can't remember his name, but
yeah,
I know the
that's
ones
terrible
you
that we
mean.
can't
Yeah.
remember his name, but
The two from the siblings from Gogglebox that always have the really cool mugs.
yeah, they are the grandchildren of one of the Patton brothers.
That's really cool, actually.
I know. And you can kind of see it a little bit, I think.
Yeah, you can.
Why did I shut it?
You look like a comedy double. You know, keep it in the family.
And Jimmy Patton was the no slacking guy from Chuckle Brothers. He appeared in Chuckle Brothers
yeah,
a
he
lot.
did.
Here are your uniforms. Now get to work. We've got a very important concert tonight, and I want to make sure that everything is perfect.
Yes, sir. Certainly, sir. Don't you worry, sir. You can trust us, sir. We'll do it for you, sir. Yes, sir.
And remember, no slacking.
Yes, sir. Certainly, sir.
What did I say? No slacking.
So he has died. He died, I think, within the same year, or maybe just a year after Barry.
Yeah.
So yeah, they grew up. They're northern. They're from West Yorkshire. So they grew up.
They're from Rotherham.
Rotherham, yeah. So they would. I think you guys have mentioned this place. That's why I'm bringing it up. They would go on day trips to Cleethorpes.
Yeah, Cleggy.
Clecops.
So yeah, you guys have been to did you go?
Many times.
No, I've never been to
okay.
Clecops.
Elsie, you can see Cleethorpes. Is it Grimsby or Cleethorpes? You can see from like your side of the river. It's like it's like, so for context, I know we talk about this a lot, but me and Elsie grew up on different sides of the Humber, and Cleggy's on my side of the Humber. This is where we used to go on Boxing Day for walks and stuff, and it's like where my parents used to take me to like the slot machines and that kind of thing when I was a kid. And I remember going, the last time I went to Cleethorpes, I was about 16, and this is such I can't believe I'm about to admit this. It was the year that Pokemon Go came out, and me and Mum went to Cleethorpes and just played Pokemon Go, and I'm sorry to say that it's not stood the test of time. And obviously I don't want to slag this place off.
You remember it fondly.
I remember it fondly. I don't enjoy it now.
Is it good for Pokemon though?
It was good for Pokemon, yeah.
Yeah, so they went there on day trips when they were kids, because their dad worked in acting, but like not in a nepo way. Like it says that he only acted and got enough jobs to get by.
Well, he was a gang show person.
What does that
mean? So a gang show is Scouts and Guides theatre, completely run by Scouts, Guides and volunteers. So that is how their father, Gene Patton, met Peter Sellers. He worked with Peter Sellers when Peter Sellers was in the Scouts, and they did a show together. So that's what he did most of his life. So it's a very show-busy family, but yeah, very much in a northern peer show variety kind of non-nepo way.
Yeah. So they started as a double act, and then they won something called Opportunity Knocks in 1967.
Yeah.
Which let them go on to do a string of TV and stage shows.
They won Opportunity Knocks, and they also won another one that was ITV. So Opportunity Knocks was BBC. There was is it In Your Faces or
I think so.
New Faces. New Faces.
Yeah.
They won New Faces as well.
Legs is in this.
Legs, here's legs. You know, don't you?
I know exactly what you do. Right. Little in the thing. Thank you.
He went the wrong way, eh? We always go that way. Oh, you go that way?
Yes, look, for him, to make it easy, we'll go that way. Yes, little in the thing. Thank you.
So they worked together 45 weeks of the year. Apparently they had a big argument about how many weeks of the year to work together. The sad stuff is like the amount of death in their family is quite a lot, and especially for Paul. So obviously Barry died a few years ago.
About 5 years ago, yeah.
I think...
Was it 2018?
Was it
2019?
Was it that recently?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it seems like longer ago.
Yeah.
So Paul had to deal with the death of both their parents, their sister, another brother, his wife Sue's sister shortly after Barry, and Paul's daughter Nicola died at 3 months old.
Yeah.
Because of a very rare condition.
Oh.
They let her be autopsied, so it actually helped a lot for like medical research, which I think is
that's amazing.
Yeah. There's not a huge... They're quite private, so there's not tons about their personal life, which I think is completely fair, and I'm not going to air it out from the things I found because they want to be private. But the scandal, the closest to a scandal, was that DJ Dave Lee Travis
Yeah, we're familiar with Dave Lee Travis.
Convicted of, or just accused. I mean, they went to court. So legally accused. I didn't check if he was convicted, and they were at the court case, at the hearing. They actually prevented an assault because they like came into the room, and the woman managed to get away because they came into the room.
Wait, is this the same story?
Yeah, the same guy, Dave Lee Travis.
What, they prevented a woman from being assaulted by Dave Lee Travis?
Yes. Yeah, because they came into the room. She managed to get away.
Right.
I think that's why they were at court.
And this is documented. This isn't us just saying shit.
No, this isn't us just saying shit.
Okay.
But the thing that came about, that was like, scandal is that they took a selfie outside of the court smiling. And
Oh
it's
no,
like-
you can't do that.
and everyone was like,
No.
bad taste? I don't...
To me, to you.
But also if it's like an ongoing case.
Yeah, like on lunch
I don't
break.
think you can do that.
On lunch break, they went outside and they were like, cheers, guys, and put it on Twitter. And
That
it was
is
like,
so funny though. That might be the funniest thing they've ever done.
ChuckleVision.
No offense, it might be the funniest thing.
yeah. And then so Barry was right-wing. Like, he voted to leave the EU. He gave money to the conservative liberal.
And then he died
Sorry.
too early to see any of the benefits of that.
Or
The
consequences.
benefits, lol.
The fallout. He also gave money to the Lib Dem Conservative Coalition. He was very supportive of that, which I found out is when they started revoking money from universities.
Yeah, that's why Lib Dems. That's why Nick Clegg lost his seat, because his seat was Sheffield Hallam, which is mostly students.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of it. The other stuff is that Barry hated hospitals. Paul reckons this is probably a part of why he died earlier than he maybe would have, because he kind of refused treatment for a long time, and he was taken care of by a, was it Marie Curie nurse?
Yeah, Macmillan.
No, the not Macmillan, the other ones, the Marie Curie.
Then
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yellow flower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like, I think Paul gives quite a lot to them because they really took care of him in the end, but he like didn't want to, he wanted to die on stage. Like, he didn't want to retire, he wanted to go out working.
Tommy Cooper style.
Yeah. Actually, I think there's one article that literally says that. So that's, he didn't really go for treatment, and he kept the cancer a secret from his brother for a really long time and kept saying it was sciatica. And it's like,
Yeah, I did know that actually.
yeah, and it's like, oh, they were both married, one's still married. Yeah, but there's not a huge amount else, because yeah, they were quite private.
I mean, I know that they're private, but Paul is on Twitter, and he's got a fairly wholesome Twitter account, and I remember the tabloids were. This is such a long time ago. The reason that I have such a terrible memory is because it's full of shit like tabloid spats that the Chuckle brothers had like 10 years ago about dressing room allocations. So it had been fabricated that they'd had a falling out, or they weren't quite as close as they used to be, because it had been reported that they have separate dressing rooms. And Paul got on Twitter and he was like, yeah, because we're grown adults.
Yeah. I think I saw that like a thing came up that was like a Now magazine edition, I think, that was talking about that, but like it took me to a website where it had every magazine ever, and I couldn't find the one that they were talking about. I was like, great, cool, good sourcing, Wikipedia. I can't read the original.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah, safe in it.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear.
There's another who's taking it.
To me.
To you.
To me.
To you then.
To me.
To you.
To me.
To you then.
To me.
Yeah. To you.
To me.
To you then.
To me.
Yeah. To you.
To me.
To you then. Oh, just stop what that mean to you, to me, to you, to me, to you stuff. We both got things to do, from me to you, to me to you, bruv.
Before they did ChuckleVision, they did a show called Chucklehounds.
Chuckle house. Chuckle house.
They just make a dog's laugh.
No, they
No,
were
a bit
dressed,
weirder than that.
They were dressed as two giant dogs.
Oh.
It was non-verbal. They were just sort of fucking around. They were just sort of miming in dog costumes. Their faces weren't even in it.
That's strange.
But it does show that they really had range as performers, because they were wordsmiths, if you want to be generous. They were clowns.
Wordsmiths when you've just finished talking about a show where they didn't talk.
Well, yeah, because
I mean, you can say a lot about them, but they're very good at physical comedy.
They're very good at comedy.
slapstick, yeah.
And wordplay as well. So they've got range. You can see that they come from a theatrical background, because
So their brother, who was on the ChuckleVision, I'm not sure who he was exactly, but their older brother, in what year was this? 2016, married a 26-year-old woman. He's 85. And he met her on Facebook, and she they met because she's a big fan of the Chuckle Brothers.
Wow.
And in the article written about it, they were like, we asked the family for comment on how they felt about a 60-year age difference between husband and wife. They were like, they love each other, so we're happy about it. I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
Well, then I am too.
Marrying into the Chuckle dynasty. You gotta respect the hustle.
Get that Chuckle fortune.
The Chuckle fortune.
Did you want to comment on their net worth?
Yeah. So I think I mentioned this at work, and my boss asked me like, "Oh, do you know how much they made per episode?" And we couldn't find this out, but a source cited Barry Chuckle's net worth at his time of death as being about 20 million, which again was 2018, so adjust that for inflation, it'll be more.
40 million.
But obviously we know that net worth isn't that accurate, but you know, you wouldn't measure my net worth at 20 million, so he's got to be worth quite a lot. He had a long working career. They had loads and loads of episodes of this, and then
Plus
I assume
every single Panto season they did, and to book the Chuckle Brothers for Panto, I mean,
so you know, I think they did all right off of it.
Net worth is more of a based on assets than it is based on earnings.
But you got to get those assets from somewhere, though.
Yeah.
So you know, you got to buy those assets using
so that
something.
would make our net worth zero.
No, actually, because our company actually does have value.
Oh yes, we're a company.
Yeah,
now.
we're
I forgot
a company.
about that.
Yeah, guys, we're a
Guys,
company.
we incorporated. Yeah,
We have a net worth.
yeah, we have a net worth.
So loads of people were saying on Instagram that in fact, let me find the comment, because I think CJ left the first comment about this. Shout out CJ. So friend of the pod CJ left this comment
Hi, CJ.
on one of the reels. It's such a shame what happened when CBBC axed the show, as the Chuckle Brothers had an unwritten agreement to make as many series as they want with the channel, and after 2008 CBBC axed the show without letting the brothers know, saying the show gets just as many viewers on the repeats as they do with new episodes. So that, I know it was an unwritten agreement, but it's kind of shit to say, oh, you can basically do this for as long as you want because we love it. Oh no, you can't.
Mr. Carrington Smythe.
It's pronounced Smith.
Sorry, Mr. Smith Smythe.
Cannon and Mrs. Pettigrew. That's a very nice rap.
Stu.
I won't tell if you don't.
I don't like this at all, Barry.
It'll be the olives. You know what they do to you.
No, not that. I mean the guests. Look a right shady lot. It's a good job we locked that ruby away nice and safe, or that might have gone missing as well. You did lock it in the safe, didn't you?
You didn't say to lock it. You just said to put it in the safe.
Well, you better go and do it now then.
Right.
So it went from, what was it, I know it finished in 2009, but I can't remember when the first series was.
1987.
Yeah. I think it was the 80s.
And also, like, apparently I was reading about the cancellation. YouTube also sort of axed it as well, because people were just watching it there, so there was even less traction for the BBC.
Oh, really?
So what did we think of series 1 and 2?
I enjoyed it more.
Me too. I was shocked.
I don't think I did enjoy it more, to be honest.
I think I prefer the format of like little sketches, like little parody of like
Yeah, it was a parody of like educational shows.
Yeah.
So it was like, this week we're talking about farming.
Yeah.
This week we're talking about magic.
Hey, Paul.
Hiya.
Hey, what are we going to do today?
Oh, today the whole show's got a sporting flavour.
Oh, like prawn cocktail.
Yeah, like...
I love prawn.
No, not prawn cocktail. No, it's all about sport. You know, like grandstand, only better.
Grandstand. Yeah.
Now, the first thing we need is the running orders.
Running orders.
Yes.
Ready, steady, go. And here we go. Up and down the street.
Hey, where are you going?
You gave me the running orders, didn't you?
Not that kind of running orders.
Oh.
No, it's what's called in the trade a menu.
We'll be back to prawn cocktail again, aren't we? I said we would.
No. It's a piece of paper that lists out a schedule bit by bit of what you're going to do throughout the show. Don't you know nothing?
No, I don't know nothing.
I wonder if I don't know when this unwritten agreement came in from the BBC, but I wonder if, well, obviously because it wasn't always on CBBC anyway, so it must have been the BBC. But
well, because CBBC isn't as old as the show.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Do you think that they got that unwritten agreement and then were like, because do we know why the format changed, or was it like, oh, we now have free reign to make as much of this as we want. We don't need to fit as much different kinds of sketches into one show because we can do this for years and years. And that's why it became a more long form thing. I don't really know.
Maybe.
Poor Chuckle, if you're out there,
I mean, he is out there.
Why did the format change?
So the thing that we found with the first 2 series was, I mean, they are very bizarre.
Yeah.
They're weird.
But kids
So-
love weird.
They do, and I do as well. So it was set against the kind of backdrop that you never see now, which is an entirely blank studio. Sort of early Vic and Bob, like...
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. A white background with, like, maybe a desk.
A little bit very cheap SNL.
Yeah, like kind of what Morecambe and Wise had, like that sort of thing where there's nothing there apart from the bare essentials.
And a phone.
Yeah, it's a really... I don't know if there's a name for this sort of studio, but
I mean, it kind of looks like a news show, right? Like Paul Chuckles kind of playing a newsreader or a like sports presenter.
Yeah.
Very
And
sports
Barry
presenter.
Chuckles, his really shit lackey.
And you've just made it back in time to see the world champion Steve Davis as he lines up on what could be the match-winning shot. By Jove, he is in trouble. His braces have snapped. So with Steve Davis looking like he's in trouble here, with a match-winning opportunity and no braces, it's back to the studio.
Oh. Yeah, fine. We'll be keeping in touch with developments as and when they happen.
Isn't it going well?
It is, isn't it? I've just been handed this piece of paper with nothing on it.
Sorry. Wrong one.
Yes. Oh, here's an interesting piece of news. It seems that tomorrow sees the launch of a brand new newspaper all about athletics. It's called the Daily Thompson. And now it's over to our exclusive interview with Nigel Mansell.
He isn't here yet.
Hey?
He's not here yet.
He's supposed to be coming with his racing car, Williams Honda.
That's a problem. William wouldn't lend him the Honda.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, it felt like there were only those 2 in the studio the whole time. Like, there's no camera off. It was just them 2 running around.
Yeah, and there's no laugh track, which is also weird because for that time and for that format, you would expect there to be. So it kind of adds to the weirdness.
Yes, it's kind of surreal.
And it's got a section in it called Armchair Theatre. It was
infuriating.
Yeah, I hate armchair theatre.
It's so many really quick little bits, and then you've got like 8 minutes.
Oh, it's long.
Of this guy.
What's he called? Someone Butler. So it's Billy Butler's Armchair Theatre. He's just a guy that isn't one of the Chuckle Brothers, and he's in like a field or a park or a council estate reading a story to the camera, and that's it.
Now here's Armchair Theatre.
Grandad loved his vegetables. He had his own special patch of ground where he grew them, his allotment. He grew rows of carrots, potatoes and cabbages. You name them, he grew them. You could find them there most of the time, weeding and watering them. And of course, taking care of his little greenhouse. Now that's where he grew the extra special ones. Great big firm tomatoes, cucumbers and even pumpkins.
I'm never lonely. Not while I've got me vegetables.
Sometimes his grandson Arnold would pop round to see him on his bike.
Hiya, Grandad. How's your veggies? You mind not biking, Arnold? And don't go picking them there tomatoes. They're not ready yet.
Aimed very young.
It was aimed very young.
Yeah.
And the rest of the show is aimed slightly older.
Or even adult. Like,
yeah, and when you've got that really long middle section, and I wasn't expecting it, so I was like, is this the wrong show that I'm watching?
Yeah.
When you've got the bits that are trying to be like quote unquote educational, but because they're comedy, they're actually just straight up misinformation. It's like, who is this for? Because you are just teaching the wrong thing.
because we were watching the farming one, and like they started talking about the 3 field system and strip farming, and I was like, okay, that's correct. And then when
natural sorts of comedy,
Strip farming, the 3 fields.
and then they went on to define what those actually were, and they were complete horseshit. And I was like, oh.
Now, farms themselves have evolved over the years. In medieval times, they used to use strip farms. Now, these were very, very long, but only 2 or 3 feet wide.
So they used to build very narrow houses.
Exactly. And this was most unsatisfactory. So what they did was to invent crop rotation.
Crop rotation?
Yeah. Look, I'll give you another demonstration. Get that potato back.
All right, okay. There you are.
That's it. Now, put all that soil back.
Hey?
Put the soil back.
Right. Okay.
Now, back in... What are you doing?
Putting the soil back.
In the box.
Oh, sorry.
Now, crop rotation. You take your potato.
Yes.
You put it down like that.
Yes.
Give it a spin. There you are. Crop rotation.
So then they could build a bigger house.
Exactly. Obvious, isn't it?
Oh, I see.
Now, life wasn't all a bowl of daisies back in the Middle Ages. Clean all that mess up, will you?
Oh.
So there's also enough correct information and then loads of incorrect information that you would, as a kid, walk away thinking like that's correct. You would probably go on with life thinking that's correct, maybe get into a conversation 10 years down the line and someone's like, no, you're fucking wrong. And he's like, what do you mean I'm wrong? The Chuckle Brothers taught it to
Do you
me.
remember last episode I was talking about my teacher, Mr. Jones, and his antics? Something that he did was he was teaching us about how...
to you.
Well, yes, he was teaching us about how they took canaries down landmines because they would die first. And
Do you mean mines?
Yes, that is. Well, they're in the land.
Mine shaft.
Yes.
Do you know penguins can walk on mines and not set them off? They're light enough.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Sorry.
If only 'twere a penguin.
Thank God for that. Someone put their hand up and said, what if it just dies of natural causes? And he said, oh, well, they give them a full health check first. And then he said, I've got to stop saying this to you because one day you're going to write this down in a test.
When I was a child, I once asked my dad why the constellations are named things that they don't look like. And my dad said, oh, well... when they were naming the constellations, there were more stars in the sky and they've all gone out since then.
Aww.
It's not true.
Well, some you can't see anymore.
Because I was like, but not... not enough that that one used to look like a man with a bow and arrow. That was never the case, Laura.
Nah.
And I remember saying to my dad, really? Because I wasn't young enough to actually be. I was probably about 15. And I went
28.
I went, really? And he went, no.
You stupid fuck. I love the impression that I just got from you that you were a northern person are going to get exams about mines. You're going to write this down on...
Yeah. When you get to 14, everyone takes the mine exam. It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
How did you do in yours?
We didn't get the 11 plus.
You didn't get the, what was it, SATs?
Yeah, no.
You did a mine.
No, you do get the 11 plus, but if you don't do well enough in it, they just send you down the mine.
Yeah.
They're like, well, she's not going to contribute much to society. Get her digging coal.
Yeah. And I did.
And she did.
Which is why my voice sounds the way it does today.
Why is so strong?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard my radio
She's going to die of black lung.
Yeah.
Is it called black lung?
I don't
Definitely
know.
a bad thing to die of.
Yeah, whatever that is.
It doesn't sound pleasant. But yeah, on my show today, I was talking like this. It was bad.
You doing your sexy voice?
It wasn't sexy.
Oh.
Something that I read in an interview with Paul Chuckle talking about, I think you probably read the same article, Laura. He's looking back on their career.
Oh no, I very intentionally didn't read that. I do not want it from his brother. I want a different, unbiased source.
Right. Well, he was talking about their career. And he said, we wanted to start doing comedy, but we started out like singing and dancing. We wanted to start in comedy, but at the time, you didn't really get into comedy if you were under 40. Because,
oh, really?
Yeah, because everyone was like, well, what would you know about life? Well, how can you be funny? Which is really interesting, I think. Because it's not like that now.
How far comedy has come.
I know.
I don't tell jokes to just make funny noises and people laugh.
You
Go on,
do
then.
tell jokes.
Yeah, that was good.
What did you made a reply to what was it the other day?
What?
Meg replies sometimes to vehicles.
What?
Sometimes the vehicle makes a noise and I do the noise back.
I do that with trams.
Trams? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Meg does it with everything.
I don't remember what I did though.
I know.
Do you do it with motorbikes? Do you
Yeah,
do
like
it
that.
with ambulances?
Yeah.
Right, you can't, because there isn't an ambulance. I'm not going to just keep doing the noises for you. I'm sorry.
The first time you did it was a train.
You think that was the first time?
first
Which is the first
time
time you heard me do
witnessed-
it? I don't even know I'm doing it.
What, chugga chugga choo choo?
No, more like
You know the noise they make when if they're like going through a station and they want to clear people away from the edge of the platform, they honk.
the honk.
Ah, the honk. Yes, we're familiar with the honk.
Do you remember Mambo Number Honk?
Yeah, there's a version of Mambo Number 5 that's performed just with bike horns, and it actually sounds like it's chasing you. It is demonic.
What's the guy that did the fake number ones for all the different times? He did Mambo Number.
Oh, Archie Henderson.
Yeah.
Mambo Number 4.
Can we talk for a second about this Twitter thread, because it is art?
Oh my god, one of my colleagues every Monday sends a comedy quiz. And Archie Henderson was one of the answers to one of these comedy, and it was the only one I knew, and they were like, who's Archie Henderson? And I was like, well, I don't know any of the others. So
We need to talk about this. We never have. We'll get back to the topic at hand soon.
But
I promise.
we love this.
This is
house.
incredible. So
I mean, it went so viral, there's a chance you already know what we're talking about.
And yet the only people that ever reference it are us three to each other. So it came at the very end of 2019.
Yeah.
And since it was New Year time, Archie Henderson said, I've been working with a music historian and we've come up with the biggest hit of every decade from now until, what was it, like 2000?
I don't think the original tweet specified how far it was going to go back, because if he had, you'd have known it was a joke.
No, it did.
Did it?
And I didn't notice.
Oh, yeah, because it took me several to realise it was a joke. Yeah.
So it started off with
Shape of
2010's
You.
Shape of You. 2000s was James Blunt.
Yeah.
Was it? You're Beautiful.
You're beautiful.
90s was Mambo Number 5. Then 80s.
Then it was Cher.
80s was Cher, if I could turn back
And
time.
then
it starts
was the Bee Gees. But it wasn't real.
It was called Ha, and it went, you make me wanna
like that.
And genuinely, it went all the way back to...
To be fair, it started like doing chunks of time rather than every single
but they were fantastic impressions of every artist. Really good.
I remember sending this to Emily, friend of the pod, and she didn't realise it was fake until it got to the one that went, I like blighty British England eating chips and fish. Let's all keep the lights on during the blitz. And then she was like, oh, this is a joke, isn't it? And I was like, there were several.
Yeah, that was the 1940s.
Yeah, it was like there were several before that gave it away.
I once was very, very sick, and my voice was the absolute perfect horrendous to do the War is Bad one.
War is bad. It makes me sad. Never glad. Worst thing I ever had.
Golf clap. That was the 1920s.
That would little Timmy didn't wash his willy. Now instead of typhoid. Now instead of typhoid. Anyway, Archie Henderson, if you're listening,
we love it.
We love it.
So
we still
funny.
go back and listen to it. It's so funny.
But then every so often it has like Mambo Number 4.
Mambo Number 2.
Mambo Number 3 was a tiny portion of Winifred, my darling bride to be, bugle. And it had Cher singing I Turned Back Time.
Yeah.
I can't believe that worked.
I only read the wiki how.
It's so funny.
We'll link it. It's so funny.
It is so good.
I remember when I think you showed it to me, I was like, oh God, okay, what is this can be long, isn't it? I wasn't expecting to enjoy it so much. It's so good.
One of the 60s one was Herbie Bonson with Do the Crunch, and it goes, put your hands on your hips and your hips on your neck, put your neck on your back, now you're doing the crunch, do the crunch. And Arthur called me at 2 a.m. after I'd sent it to him. He didn't say words, he was just wheezing down the phone, and he said, put your hands on your
I remember when I first watched it, I was living in Spain with Delphina at the time, child Delphina, and I remember getting maybe 4 in and banging on the bedroom door like, get in here right now.
Experience it together.
Yeah.
See, I visited Meg around that time, and on a coach from Madrid to Segovia, so one of the much, much older ones, was it from like the 1600s? And it was called The Rancid Prince. Oh. and it basically went like this. Let him be my daddy, please. And Meg got this in her head and would not stop repeating it for 2 hours on this coach. See, Meg just gets things in her head. Meg just cannot stop.
She's so
my daddy, please.
Oh God, like so
Rancid Prince.
Meg will so thoroughly get something in her head, and you're lucky if it's that one day. Like you're lucky if it's that 2-hour window, because sometimes it's a week of her singing. What is the
Chuckle Megan? Chuckle Megan.
No, the one that was the most annoying for me was the Kanye West one. You're such a fucking hoe.
You're such a fucking hoe. I love it.
A week. Every time I was near her, she would just go, you're such a fucking hoe. I love it. And I was going, oh, please, I'm going to kill you.
Anyway. And it gets on Meg's nerves as well.
Yeah, you'll start going, shut up. A window into living with Meg.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of the things I get stuck in my head aren't even songs. They're
one lyric.
Let him be my daddy, please. Anyway, back to the Chuckle Brothers.
Yeah, back to the Chuckle Brothers. Yeah. So, what is there to say, really? I mean,
to me, to you then, to me, steady, steady, steady now, to you, to you, to me, to you then, to me then, steady, to me, steady, oh dear.
We could talk about the other format. We haven't really touched...
What, the actual sitcom?
Yeah.
what it was for about 19 years. Yeah. Like, should we do that?
Because I watched a few. I didn't watch all the different eras. I didn't love it.
So my breakdown of the eras is early fuzzy...
Vaseline camera, yeah.
Slight mullety haircut.
Oh, their hair's insane.
Yeah, it is insane. Then era number 3 is series 14, where it follows one overarching story arc. And then era 4 is the stuff that looks kind of modern and isn't on a square screen.
Yeah.
16 by 10.
Yes.
Finally.
16 by 9.
Oh,
I think you'll find.
We watched one in season 20, the Beetle Man episode, or that one.
I don't know. I wish you could see her face right now when she says the Beetle Man.
And I
it's a thing.
Yeah, and I found it quite insufferable and annoying. I prefer the older ones. The older ones I think are funnier. I think their car, which they have for the whole time, is hilarious.
Oh, the Chucklemobile.
The Chucklemobile.
Is that what it's called, or did I just make that up?
If it isn't called that, it should be called
It's like a little pedal car thing that looks like you sell ice creams out of it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a frame. There's no walls.
Yeah, and it's called, the license plate is Chuckle One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the shop episode. I thought that was a better...
Yeah, that's one that we've posted on our Instagram.
I like it because I like the episodes where Barry gets back at Paul. Because I find the way Paul, like, as an adult, and I know it's just comedy, but I find I really, really, really just want to punch Paul Chuckle in the face for being such a cunt.
Yeah, he's horrible to him.
He's horrible to him.
I also, every single misunderstanding that Barry has still makes complete sense as to why he's thought that.
Yeah, it's like, I can see you're working.
Yeah,
there's always logic to it.
You said you were repairing the cooker today. You told me you were going brass rubbing. Yes, my pencil broke. So? Well, I came in here to get a new one, and Mr. Hersey said he needed someone he could rely on to look after the shop. Well, why didn't you call me? Because he said he needed someone he could rely on to look after the shop.
So generally what happens in an episode of the sitcom is that they will be placed in a various job because they're minding it for someone else. So they're usually unseen. So
Big social network, these two.
Yeah, so they'll be like looking after someone's shop, or looking after someone's fish and chip shop,
stately manor,
or stately manor. So they've been sent on like little odd jobs.
We've come about the executive position advertised in the journal.
Ah, the odd job men. That's us. Well, you're certainly odd.
And they basically try and keep themselves out of trouble while doing a good job for whoever they're working for. And a positive thing I have to say about the Chuckle Brothers is that they're not one of these sitcoms where they have some sort of self-serving madcap scheme, which I don't have a problem with on it by itself, but that a lot of them are that.
What do you mean?
Like, you know, like making money or whatever.
They are generally trying to do quite a good job. They're
always
just doing it badly.
Yeah, they're just trying to help people. Their intentions in
really
every
good.
scenario are always pure.
The shop one, I think, if Paul had left Barry alone, that shop would have been fine.
Yes,
maybe all the
often
stuff would have been stolen still, but I think overall he would have done a good job.
Barry's fairly competent. I mean, here's the punchline, but he's sure of himself. He knows what he's doing.
Similar to my brother, I think Paul wants to be right so much that it gets in the way of actually being correct and doing the right thing.
Yes, he's very stubborn.
Because, like, he wants Barry to be wrong so much that he fucks everything up.
One of his, not so much a catchphrase, but something he says to Barry a lot is, "You stupid."
I say that a lot to myself. You stupid.
Gran's holding a posh dinner party tonight and he wants us to help out. It's for charity.
What charity?
Chiropody for rhinos. Hey, this'll give us a good chance to get back in the good books.
I'm not in the bad ones.
You will be when she finds out what you've done to that desk. Yeah, let's see if we can fix it. Give me a hand with this, Barry.
In one of the episodes, they're like doing odd bits and bobs for their gran, and this actress looks younger than the Chuckle Brothers. Because, like, firstly, no offense, they were born old. Like,
everyone back then, sorry to be this person, but do you not think that people looked old?
There's actually, like, for one thing, sun cream.
Yeah, well,
smoking, sun cream, even like just
and they
smoking.
were smokers.
Yeah. Because the sun cream only was like invented or commercialized in the 70s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
what did people do before then?
Nothing.
Burn. Oh.
Well, they even put
Shade.
oil on them to cook more.
Yeah, tanning oil.
Huh?
Tanning oil.
My mum used to use it.
Great. That explains all the melanoma.
Yeah, so that's one part of it, is that there wasn't this sun cream. And then there's also, I think, a growing culture of skincare.
Yeah, but you've got to admit that they kind of were born old.
Oh, yeah. But, like, you look at some shows where people are our age at the beginning of the shows, and we look so much younger than, like, other people who are the same age as us.
It's because they were trying to be 40 because they wanted to be comedians.
And the moustache ages them as well.
Yeah.
I don't think they had a moustache. Sorry, I don't think they had a shaven face for their entire career.
What does your brother look like without a moustache?
I'll show you pictures.
Normal. We said earlier that we think Barry Chuckle looks a bit like Nigel Thornberry.
Yes. Smashing.
You! I told you never to darken my door again. We haven't come to darken your door.
No, we're delivering this safe for Dan.
Barry, how lovely to see you. How are you keeping?
Excuse me?
Ask him what he wants.
Gran wants to know what you want.
We want to put the... Ask her where she wants to put that.
He wants to know if we can put the safe somewhere safe.
Put the safe somewhere safe. Oh, you.
Where would you like it?
In the study.
In the study, Paul.
Their age kind of doesn't matter. Like, they were... I don't know if I have a point to...
I get what you mean.
They don't occupy any place in society within those episodes of the sitcom. Their connections to others are not clearly outlined.
Well, it's like kind of in a similar way to, like, that's Uncle Barry.
What do you mean?
So someone who's not related to you, but your family knows.
What, like...
Yeah.
Like, just, I mean, I don't know, I might be projecting Irish family social networks where it's like there's always someone you know who can do a thing, and you'll just call them Uncle Barry or Cousin Barry.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that there aren't any other regulars in the show.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like they're not situated anywhere. They don't have the same house they go back to.
That's
we don't know why. Do they live together?
They seem to.
Well, they don't share a dressing room.
But we have no idea. There's no other there's recurring actors, but they're in a different place every episode. It feels like it's in a different time. Like if you go from one sitcom episode from, you know, the very early season, then go to the very last ones.
Completely different.
Well, that's kind of
they're not completely different.
No. I mean, like, their place and time and the people are completely different.
They are completely different, but they are the
Yeah.
same.
It's just an alternate universe every single episode.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the difficulty with calling it a sitcom is that it's missing that one key thing that a sitcom does is a recurring place. Like, they are always in different locations.
The only constant is them.
Yeah.
We went from watching the season 1 and 2 to watching straight away season 20, and I found that change so jarring.
But every change, I mean, that happens from episode to episode. You know, they're the anchors, and I don't.
The whole universe revolves around them.
Yeah, they are.
It's the Chuckle universe.
Called the Chuckle Brothers. So
Yeah.
it's not called A Place with Some Men, is it?
So that's why when their gran appeared younger than them, I was like, it doesn't matter. It kind of, they could be in their 80s and they could be going to their parents for tea for an episode, and if those
Their parents are in their
were,
20s.
and if that was the case, I would watch it and I'd be like, I'm on board with this.
I think it adds to the surrealness.
For sure.
It's because you don't question their age, their occupation. You just accept them as the Chuckle Brothers. You don't.
They're a universal constant.
Yeah, exactly.
Chuckle Cement Works, can I help you? Yes, certainly, sir. Any kind of cement work undertaken. Tell you what I'll do. I'll send you one of our representatives round to see you straight away. Thank you for calling. Bye.
Just a minute. We haven't got any representatives.
Of course we have. You.
Of course. Hey?
Go and get your suit on. I'll come with you, make sure everything's okay.
Oh, what about our thing we've just made outside?
Statue.
Of course it's me, there's no one else here.
No, the thing we've made outside, it's a statue.
So I was sitting today trying to cure my voice and just sort of sitting with all my thoughts about...
Don't do that.
Ruminating.
I was ruminating. I was trying to come up with something about the Chuckle Brothers, like some angle to talk about, because I've seen enough of them now. I'm going to talk about their game show in a minute. I've seen them on Celebrity Coach Trip or whatever it was. I've seen so much ChuckleVision in the last few days, and I didn't have like anything strong enough to talk about.
Yeah.
And I still haven't, and I don't know why. What is that?
I just think it kind of relates back to, because they kind of just are. So it's like taking a perspective on it's difficult.
I think I like them.
I had never watched them as a kid. I had no memory of them. I had awareness of the Chuckle Brothers, but I didn't even know they had a kids show. Like, I thought they were just a comedy double act that
did Panto sometimes.
Yeah. I may have even seen them in Panto. We used to go to Panto every New Year.
I did see them in Panto. So my two of my aunts took us, and they said they went out at the interval and they saw the two of them smoking outside in their vests. And they said, yeah, they just looked emaciated. Like they were just in some string vests smoking outside.
My mum and dad once saw Barry Chuckle in a fancy restaurant near where we live, and my dad was like, oh, I said to your mum, I'm going to hand you your handbag and I'm going to say to you and you're going to say to me as we walk past him. And they both bottled it, and it's a good job they did, because loads of people have been commenting saying that they've done this when they've seen them in public and have just told them to fuck off, which is fair enough.
Within their right to do.
It's like, if you didn't want to be told to fuck off, you shouldn't have been a dickhead.
Yeah, you see those like actors and comedians and stuff that have like a famous catchphrase, and it's like, oh yeah, people chase me down the street going, you are my father, and it's like,
And maybe it would be like refreshing for them if I saw Paul Chuckle, if I just said to him, hello, like his other catchphrase, or oh dear,
Yeah,
like one of the lesser known ones, you know. Well, not lesser known, but you know what I mean.
He'd probably still go, fuck off.
It's like in the first episode of the new series of Taskmaster, where Greg Davies is like, everyone who's come up to the street and said how much they love the show and this, that and the other, just know you did ruin my night. Stop doing it.
You did ruin my life.
I once saw Greg Davies on Oxford Street and he looked so harassed, like he was trying to get somewhere really quickly without being stopped by people. And I was there with my mum and dad and we all went, is that Greg Davies? And we were like, yeah, no one say anything.
It must be so difficult for him because he's so notable.
Yeah,
like you can spy him across, like from a mile away. That
can't hide if you're Greg Davies.
No, it must be nice to have a more subtle appearance.
Have you ever seen any cool famous people? The only one I've got is walking past Tim Robbins in Edinburgh.
I met Hans. It's what I was working in Fortnums. I met Hans Zimmer, Taron Egerton, which is maybe the biggest one.
What about you?
I've met Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. So I don't need to tell that story again.
The day before I started working, Camilla had come in.
Oh, you just missed Camilla.
The day before my interview, Stephen Fry was there.
So we never usually went to the big we only went to like the big touring ones if our aunts took us. If my parents were taking us, we'd go to the local Humberside radio performance, which was always better. I believe that. The cheaper a panto is, the better it is. But during...
Should we go to a panto?
No, I don't want to go to a panto. Fuck you.
Oh, Jesus.
Please don't make me go to a panto.
I'd go to the middle child ones. Do you ever go to the middle child one?
No, fuck.
So this panto, one of their set pieces was... It basically was Barry Chuckle getting undressed to his pants. It was like a comedy bit. I can't remember why or how.
Nudity
but
is hilarious.
Well, yes, it is. As we all know, male nudity is funny and female nudity is sexy, and that is why we'll never be equal.
It's true.
Yeah.
Unless you're that woman trying to get into our house. Falling.
The woman climbing through a window. That was very funny.
That was
so funny.
Tits akimbo.
Tits akimbo. In the most pure definition of tits akimbo.
So I, as a child, like, watched this, didn't really register it, like, you know, went home, probably had forgotten it had happened, and my aunt was telling my dad about it, and she was not happy. She was like, I mean, you don't want to see that, do you? An old man, like, you shouldn't, it's not right. I mean, it was disgusting. She was so unhappy that Barry Chuckle had his arms and legs out.
Okay, if this is a story from one of you two, stop me and claim it. I think this was I heard this at uni. It was a primary school class. A grandfather clock came up in a story, and the kids didn't know what a grandfather clock was. So the teacher...
I don't know where this is going, okay. Laura.
I know where this is going.
Was like,
Meg's claimed it.
The teacher was like, I'll show you guys what a grandfather clock is, because once you see it, you'll know. And she accidentally, when typing into Google Images, instead of writing...
No.
Was this my boyfriend?
I don't know where I heard this
where
story.
did this story... Yeah, because I've heard this story organically as well.
Okay. So instead of typing in grandfather clock...
No.
She missed out the L.
Yes.
And accidentally searched grandfather cock in a room full of under 10s.
Yeah. the computer should have had some sort of lock on it with it being in a school.
If you have mature search on like safe search off on Google,
anything
yeah. Come on. Also, I think some stuff slips through anyway.
Yeah.
So suddenly on the whiteboard,
no.
was a screen full of grandfather cocks.
That's the best day at school ever.
If I remember correctly, a lot of parents called in because obviously the kids go home and
Mummy, I've seen a grandfather cock.
If this is a story from your boyfriend, can we tell the other hilarious story from your boyfriend? And you know the one I'm talking about.
Oh, where his...
I don't know how else we're ever going to bring this in, so let's do it now.
Friends, I'm definitely missing bits out.
This is so funny.
where one of his friends gave the group of friends like money and was like, "Can you go buy me lunch?"
Because they were going out anyway,
and they brought him a whole raw fish.
Boys are so
I'm sorry, I lost my mind when I heard this. This is the funniest thing. I mean, he went to a boys' school, can you tell? At my school, we weren't allowed out at lunchtime because people in years before I'd got there had they used to be allowed to go home, and then they banned it because we got up to too much at lunchtime.
Like going to the fish,
like going and getting a fish. And he said that there was one boy in his group who just wanted to, they were being told off by the teachers, and he just wanted to get it cleared up, but and he basically cleaned it all up himself because everyone else was laughing too much to do anything about it.
What needed clearing up?
I mean, he brought a whole raw fish. I mean, I don't know what they did with it. I don't know if they just slapped it on a desk in front of him, but like yeah,
dude's rock.
You've got to dispose of that fish somehow, and it's not going in the paper bin in a classroom, is it? So that's one of the funniest things I've ever been told. It really got me on side. Like, he told me this when I first met him, and I was like, yeah, I'll have you, I think.
Fish boy.
You're for me.
Good morning and welcome to ChuckleVision. We've got a really interesting programme for today. It's all about making clothes. And to start with, you need a dummy. And here he is.
I can't find it.
Oh, no.
Where was it supposed to be coming from?
Well, you remember Dan McGann with the van?
Oh, from the Isle of Man?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, his brother, Ted the Thread.
From Birkenhead?
That's him, yeah. Well, he was supposed to have delivered it this morning. Look, if he doesn't delivered it, you better give Bri the Tie a ring.
Bri the Tie?
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Barnsley. He'll lend us one. Got it?
I think so. Dan McGann from the Isle of Man, or Ted the Thread from Birkenhead, or Bri the Tie from...
He's got it.
So, something about the Chuckle Brothers brand of humour reminds me of, like, end of the pier shows, like variety performances, like that kind of, not Bernard Manning era, but kind of that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they are Bernard Manning. They're a lot milder than that.
You're going over my head with all these
I know that
references.
you wouldn't get that reference, but he's a 70s, 80s stand-up. He was a self-admitted racist. He was a bad man. And he wasn't funny.
Bad, unfunny man,
yeah.
the comedian.
Yeah. And
as they often are.
A lot of the jokes in it feel like they're old. Like, all of the actual jokes, like wordplay jokes in the Chuckle Brothers, which is like 90% of it.
Yeah.
Feel like they might not have been written by them. And I'm not saying, like, they probably did, right? I mean, they probably did. In fact, there is a team of writers. I mean, Russell T Davies wrote some episodes.
Yeah.
But the style
to
of
find
humour...
which ones of those were and watch those, see if they're different at all.
Yeah, but that sort of style feels like when there were much fewer comedians working on national TV, when it was just regional, jokes did get passed around, and people were a lot less precious about the ownership of jokes.
Could you explain that to me a little bit? What do you mean? So there was segmented, genuinely segmented TV?
No,
regionally?
not TV, but just like the circuits.
Oh, so okay, so right, okay.
So when
performing,
when there were like fewer very famous comedians, it was kind of a done thing. I learned this from a Stuart Lee routine about Joe Pasquale stealing a joke from someone, but it was just not. People weren't that precious about swapping jokes around, and there was like some staple kind of set bits, like pantomime set bits. Like, you can't own a pantomime bit, the whole sitting on a bench and having a ghost behind you, like that, you can't own that. And that the Chuckle Brothers, even though they had their own sitcom and it was like national TV, a lot of that humour feels like that from that sort of tradition. I'm not saying they're frauds. I'm not saying that.
No,
but it just feels like that. And that they were able to carve out a massive career and like make such a name for themselves off the back of that style of comedy into 2009 and beyond is really impressive.
Yeah.
Can I tell a fact about copywriting?
Of course.
So you can't in the UK, or you couldn't, I don't know about now, copyright magic. So like tricks, you can't do that. But you can copyright plays, performances. So what Houdini used to do, you could copyright a magic trick, but you had to explain it in full, in which case it's public record. Everyone knows how to do your trick.
Right.
What you don't have to detail in full is a stage production. You can just be a bit more vague about it.
Yeah.
But it has to be performed. So what Houdini used to do was, because if you performed it on the night to a load of people, it could have been stolen before you've managed to copyright it, because it has to be performed once in order for it to be copyrighted.
Right.
So he used to have an audience of one and perform his trick first for that audience of one and then copyright it.
Wow.
Really?
That's really cool.
He died of a punch to the stomach.
Yes, I know.
That's really cool.
In the show, Barry keeps wearing stuff that I would wear.
Yeah.
Like, Barry has some insane drip.
We should get your hair cut like that as well.
Oh, no.
And then you can grow the Nigel Thornberry.
Yes. Well, I was watching To Me To You, which was their game show in the 90s. It was like two schools competing against each other in general knowledge. And they had a celebrity guest for a section of it. And I watched the episode with Bobby Davro because it felt...
Bobby Davro.
It felt like era specific. I thought, I've got to watch the Bobby Davro one. And I don't know if this is a really old joke, but it feels like one. Bobby Davro says to the Chuckle Brothers, if I had noses like yours, I wouldn't underline them. Which is really funny.
Wow.
And speaking of like things that are actually funny, in the sitcom ones and the early seasons, like the sort of presenting a topic ones, because they're not like humour that I as an adult would laugh at, I wasn't primed to laugh. But when something was funny, it really caught you off guard and it felt like the funniest thing ever.
Also, because there's no laugh track, which is traditionally how you get primed to laugh and those kind of things, you're like, oh fuck, that was funny.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Chuckle Island and another game of To Me To You.
The ferry's arrived, our teams are here. Let's go and meet them.
Let's go and meet them. Go on,
Right.
Barry, come on. Let's go. And on my side today, we've got Sea Green Combined School. And the contestants are, hello, what's your name?
Katie.
Katie. Hello, Katie. Nice to see you. Now, what ambitions have you got? Have you got any ambitions at all in life?
Yeah, well, because I'm scared of spiders, I want to be able to hold a tarantula.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't fancy that, do you? Anyway, your turn. Hello. What's your name?
I'm Simon.
Simon. Nice to see you, Simon. I believe you like travelling. You've got a favourite destination you like to go to?
I go to Zimbabwe a lot.
Zimbabwe? How come you get to Zimbabwe then?
My mum works for Air Zimbabwe, and so she gets free flights over there.
Oh, that's brilliant, that. Well, you two, Katie and Simon, good luck with Sea Green Combined School. Yeah! Before we start, though, we've got to find out who's going to begin the game. And we do that by...
Playing the dice decider.
Come on, down on the beach, down on the beach.
Here we go.
Come on, right down here. Straight down on the beach. That's the beach, down here, look. There you are, it's just like Zimbabwe. That's it. Now, you two stand over that side.
You stand
and we'll
there.
explain what's happening. What here, we've got 2 rock pools.
Rock pools?
And there's all sorts of seaweed and everything. But in there, we've got 5 starfish. And the first one to get all 5 out, or the one who gets the most, in 30 seconds, will start the game. If you'd like to put these gloves on,
right,
each of you, I think the other way around, aren't they?
Put these gloves
That's
on.
It, get those in. And to make it a
They
little bit
join
harder,
together, look.
They're fastened together at the top. It's good, this, isn't it? Right, you've got
to
30
find
seconds
5 starfish.
to find as many as you can, starting from... Hang on. Ready? Now, go.
Off you go.
Go. Quick.
5 starfish.
One of our listeners, I'm going to read you some messages now. She says that one of the episodes that they shot was in a bookshop in her village. And I don't know, I assume because it was in her village, her primary school made them study it as part of their history curriculum.
Aww. Wow.
And I said, oh, that's so weird. Do you know why? She said, I think it was something local that happened and they were really scraping the barrel, and they shot the episode there because it was this very odd secondhand bookshop that I think suited the vibe of the episode. And she said, I'm pretty sure we had to write about it, having watched the whole episode in a lesson and learn about it. But genuinely saw it as the height of culture and celebrity when I was 7. So thanks, Anna. So thanks, Anna, for that. But yeah, because imagine you're a kid who loves ChuckleVision, because kids loved ChuckleVision.
I can see why they did.
They shoot it in your village, and then your school's like, let's study this because these celebrities came to our village. It's actually quite cool. I mean, it is a bit weird that they were scraping the barrel that much, but I think it's quite a cool thing.
I also have some messages to read out from my friend Marie. So Marie tweeted me about... So I was like live tweeting my experience of ChuckleVision a few days ago. And she got back to me, and none of you will have seen this because she's on private, but she has an excellent Twitter account. Oh. So this is what Marie has to say. My only anecdote about the Chuckle Brothers is that once at school in like year 9, I'd done the best somersault you'd ever seen and then fell on my head at trampolining club and knocked myself out. All good stories start with. Woke up to 2 paramedics leaning over me, one of whom was straight up Paul Chuckle. And I don't mean he looked like him. He had the voice and the moustache and everything. And I remember thinking, God, I didn't know that Paul Chuckle was a paramedic when he wasn't doing panto. Anyway, we get to Hull Royal, and while I'm being treated by the doctors, the paramedics walk by and my mum's thanking them and everything. And I'm like, where's the other paramedic? Because both the guys talking to my mum were bald. And they all look at me like I'm Leonardo DiCaprio at the end of Shutter Island. And they're like, there was no paramedic.
Oh my God, she hallucinated Paul Chuckle.
Turns out it was some sort of concussion hallucination.
Imagine if she'd hallucinated Nigel Thornbury.
Terrifying.
Yeah, terrifying.
That's Barry Chuckle.
Yeah.
Laura's not very good at distinguishing the Chuckle brothers.
I'm bad at names, full stop.
Okay, so Barry's the one that looks like Nigel Thornbury. And Paul's the dickhead.
Paul's the taller one.
Yes. Yeah. And Barry just wears fantastic jumpers and like shell suits. Really?
Shell?
Yeah, shell suits. Yeah.
What's a shell suit?
The sort of like a baggy nylon tracksuit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Barry wears some really good ones.
Yeah. But I understand now. Thank you. Meg was just quite mean to Elsie.
Yes, I know. So I said shell suit, and this I'm going to cut out, but
you want it
we were explaining to Laura what a shell suit was, and she was like, "What's that?" And Meg said, "Jimmy Savile." And Laura said, "Who's that?"
No, I did. Okay. I don't really know what he looks like. The only times I've seen him is when I get advertised the documentaries about what he did.
And Meg said, "Elsie with her blonde hair." Because there was a time.
Look, Elsie, you said it yourself.
Bad. It was, I had to go back.
The thing is, like, you never wore a shell suit. That would have been too much.
I think your hair looked really cool blonde.
It does.
I would never have said Jimmy Savile had you not said it yourself.
Yeah, but then because I did, and you were like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, but I didn't think it before that.
Yeah, but you did after.
Yeah, but that's because of you. That's
looking
your
like Jimmy
fault.
Savile.
Yeah. You should have looked like Jimmy Savile if you didn't want me to say you look like Jimmy Savile.
So you're in bed.
Elsie with her blonde hair and a juicy tracksuit.
Oh god.
Looking like a child's TV presenter from the 70s. No laughs there, no laughs.
No.
When I win that first prize, they'll put me up on a pedestal with all the other great gardeners. Oh, that's the one. Look at that.
Right, come on then. I can't carry that as well.
We'll go and get a trolley.
Can't you carry it?
What?
Never mind. I knew it. They've shut.
Hey? They can't have it, it's only 9.
I've been holding this lot since 4.
Well, I'm not going anywhere without that plant. I'll leave the money on the side. Where's it gone? Oh, the cafe's open.
That's not the cafe.
Well, what is it then?
I don't know, but it wasn't there before.
Hang on. He's got my tomato plant.
Where's that?
What are we going to do? Grow rhubarb? You're going to have to go in there and have it out with him. Why me? Because you're closer than me. I'm not. Yes, you are. Go on. Go on. No. Yes, go on. You're all right. Go on.
There's one episode I want to talk about called Alien Antics. It starts with, and again, it's the weirdness is exacerbated by the lack of a laugh track, even though it being something that really looks and feels like it should have one. So the Chuckle Brothers are in what appears to be a warehouse, like a half indoor, half outdoor sort of garden centre warehouse at night.
Ooh, not at night.
And they're growing tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just the weirdest setting. They're talking about how they're going to grow tomatoes for the biggest tomato competition. And then they hear a weird noise and they turn a corner and there's a spaceship. And it's the strangest shot. It's like floating in the air.
It's got some of that CBBC early
FX.
Yeah.
And their faces are
ugly.
like, there's like a really bright light, like third encounters of the what's it called?
Sun?
Encounters of the third kind?
What's it?
Fuck. Yeah, you're right. What is it?
That one. And Close Encounters
Close Encounters of the
yeah.
Third Kind.
And an alien comes out, and it's an ugly alien. It's really ugly. When I was a kid, I was actually very scared. And this really strange vibe stuck with me because I went back and tried to find it. I was like, alien episode of the Chuckle Brothers. And in my memory, they just sort of walked about the warehouse for a bit, avoiding this alien for about half an hour. But no, they get into his
shuttle.
So the alien takes the big tomato and gets into the spaceship.
So rude.
I know, they follow him, and this alien has a collection of tomatoes which he mistakenly thinks are human beings, and he's taking them back.
Who are you? What are you doing? What type of creature are you?
I'm not a creature. I'm a human being.
You are not a human being.
I am.
These are human beings. I have captured many thousands of them. However, you do seem to have developed a greater intelligence. A creature such as you may bring great riches.
Allow me to introduce myself. Paul Chuckle.
Another one.
Barry here might be all right. When it comes to intelligence, I'm your man. Maybe even greater riches, eh?
So be it. Come with me.
So they're in a weird set full of like mirrors and shit and tomatoes. And this alien explains that he's taking the tomatoes back to his home planet to try and experiment on them to learn about human culture. He does an intelligence test on Paul, works out he's got lower intelligence than one specific tomato in this greenhouse in the spaceship. Then the alien mind swaps with Paul.
Using this machine where the helmets look like a colander with CD-ROMs stuck around it.
And when it's turned on and they're like shaking and stuff, they keep falling off the alien head because the alien head is massive and it's clearly on a string, and it's just
because a colander's not built to go on an alien-sized
it's
head.
built to go on a human head.
Yeah, or a tomato.
It's just the oddest thing. And then, hijinks ensue. The alien body with Paul's mind in it is trying to convince Barry that he's Paul, and they get swapped back. They put them both back into the machine. Barry sort of engineers it so it's going to go back, and then something goes wrong, and the episode ends with Paul and Barry Chuckle having accidentally merged with the tomatoes, and now there's some tomatoes with the Chuckle Brothers' faces on in an alien spaceship.
I remembered that scene so well. Like, I couldn't have placed it, but I remembered their faces on those tomatoes. It was like,
it does sound like a strong image.
Yeah, I had like a door in my mind opened when I saw that.
I'm just obsessed with the liminal vibe of the tomato warehouse with an alien spaceship around the corner and the Chuckle Brothers just happening upon it. Like, what's happening there?
This is where Russell T Davies started.
Yes.
It doesn't not sound like backrooms hijinks,
Yeah, it does a bit.
And the
yeah.
effects were about as good as early Doctor Who as well.
early Doctor Who. Like early Doctor Who.
Oh, actually, even probably just as good as Bins being villains.
Yeah.
I need people.
Remember when you were afraid of your wheelie bin? Don't throw that out.
Oh my god,
that's where the flavour is.
We watched Blink, and we were at a place that we were on holiday. We were staying at a place that had statues in the garden. They were not angels, but suddenly all three of us were like, "Someone keep an eye on that Buddha."
I'm being directed.
That Buddha.
I'm being redirected to the website.
Okay.
I'm about to get tickets, everyone.
Do you want to use my laptop?
No.
Okay, because it's my turn also.
Okay. Oh my god.
That better be fucking worth it. Let me tell you now, Elsie, if it's shit, I'm blaming you.
It won't be shit. Oh, that was so
recording?
stressful. Yes, we're recording.
Sorry if there's a change in energy. We just took a 20-minute break to stress through buying tickets.
I think it was longer than 20 minutes.
Okay.
Well, you can check, see how long you were on that call.
I wasn't on the call for the whole time you were trying to get tickets either.
Oh my god, well, we've done it now. We're seeing inside number 9.
Fright Night?
It's called Stage Fright. It's called.
Fright.
Yeah. Right. Shall we get this done?
Yes. You wanted to say something?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I can't remember. To everyone that holds ChuckleVision really dear to your heart, really sorry if this episode isn't up to scratch. We gave our honest opinion.
Yeah. You can trust us to be honest.
You can.
And we know that so many of you really love it. If you're worried that love might not be replicated into adulthood, don't rewatch it.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely impressive. I definitely respect them a lot for what they've achieved. They've produced so many episodes. Paul Chuckle seems like a genuinely nice guy. And
everyone in
I'm happy
showbiz
for
says
him.
that they're very nice, very down to earth, good people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the best you can hope for.
One of them didn't. One of them lived in his hometown.
Yeah.
Potentially, I don't remember
You
which
say
one's
it's
which.
nice to hear local accents on telly.
It is.
I mean, they're not from Rotherham, but if you've ever wondered what my granddad sounds like, it's very, very much like the Chuckle Brothers.
I've often wondered what your granddad sounds like.
Very much like the Chuckle Brothers. It's nice to have local people on telly.
I'm not going to hear my accent on telly.
Or anywhere. Right, have a beautiful evening, everyone. We need to get out of this room. We've just had... It's been quite the evening.
Yeah, it's warm.
Shall we do the socials?
I think we better had. If you don't know by now.
You can find us on TikTok at ThoughtsTVPod.
Yep.
On Instagram at ThoughtsTV. The O is a 0.
On Twitter at Thoughts__TV.
You can email us at thoughtstv2002@gmail.com. Their Discord is linked on the socials.
You can follow us on Patreon.
Yeah.
Welcome to all of our new Patreon subscribers.
There's been
been a few of you, and we're absolutely delighted to have you here. Can't wait to put more bonus content right under your schnozzers.
We've got ideas.
We've got ideas.
They're coming. They're coming.
Right, yeah, sorry for the shift in energy. We're all very, very, very...
I feel a bit hysterical.
It's 10:30. I'm so frustrated and I did nothing. So
I ache from the weird position I had to be in.
I hope you've enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I hope you all go and watch some ChuckleVision.
Chuckle Megan.
Chuckle Megan. Chuckle Megan.